and welcome to another video. Now, this question was sent to my mail and the person requested that I should please provide a step-by-step analysis, that is a step-by-step solution to this question. Now, this is a question that can be solved within 3 minutes, within 3 to 4 minutes. Yeah, within 4 minutes. Yeah, but of course, but because I will have to provide a step-by-step analysis to the problem. So what is important what is important first is for us to understand that now in the question we have if the solution of the equation log to base cos x of cot x plus 4 log to base sin x of tan x equals to 1. Now we have x in this interval is inverse sine of alpha plus root beta over 2, where alpha and beta are integers. Then alpha plus beta. So what is important here is to find out what is the value of alpha and value of beta. So when we know the value of alpha and beta, then by the time we add them together, then that is the answer to the question. Okay, when we add the value of alpha and value of beta, then that will give us the answer to the question. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do, okay, because of course, I'm going to be providing a detailed explanation in this case, all right? Now, what I will do first is, let me write the question. We have logarithm to base cos x of cot x plus 4 logarithm to base sin x of tan x equals to 1. So the first thing we need to do is to recognize the definition for tangent and cotangent. Now we know that for tangent, okay, tangent is equals to sin x divided by cos x. Then cotangent, that is cot x, is equals to cos x divided by sin x. All right, so I'm going to substitute sin x divided by cos x for tan x and this for cot x, so that the new equation can now be logarithm to base cos x of cos x divided by sin x, then plus 4 logarithm to base sin x of sin x divided by cos x equals to 1. All right, now we can apply one of the properties of logarithms. So we can apply the property now. Applying one of the properties, okay, one of the properties of logarithms, and that will be logarithm of a quotient of two separate quantities. That will be equals to the difference between the logarithm of the two separate quantities. So just like what we have here, logarithm of q divided by p divided by q to base a is equals to logarithm of p to base a minus logarithm to base a of q. All right, so we do that in this case. So this becomes log cos x to base cos x minus log sin x to base cos x, okay, plus 4 log sin x, okay, to base sin x, then minus 4 log cos x to base sin x. That is equals to 1. All right, then we can then again apply another property of logarithms. That is the property, so we can now apply log a to base a, which is equals to 1. So in what we have here, we have logarithm to base cos x of cos x. That will be 1. So this is 1. Then minus, we have minus logarithm to base cos x of sin x, okay, plus 4 logarithm to base sin x of sin x. That will be 1. So that will be 1 minus, that will be 4 times 1, 4. Then minus, then this remains as logarithm to base sin x of cos x equals to 1. Now, we have plus 1 on the left-hand side, and also we have plus 1 on the right-hand side. So if I subtract 1 from both sides, so the equation will reduce to negative logarithm to base cos x of sin x plus 4, okay, minus 4 logarithm to base sine x of cos x equals to 0. Now let's rearrange this equation. Let me move everything to the other side. Or let's multiply the equation by minus 1. And this becomes logarithm to base cos x of sine x, okay, minus 4, okay, minus 4, because we are multiplying by negative 1, then plus 4 logarithm to base sine x of cos x equals to 0. Nice. Now again, we can observe that for now when we look at log, in this case we have logarithm to base cos x of sine x, while here we have logarithm to base sine x of cos x. So which means we can say let logarithm to base sine x of cos x be equals to, we can choose a letter from the alphabet, and that will be equals to k. All right, so in this case, so which means that logarithm to base cos x of sine x, that will be 1 over k, then minus 4 plus 4k equals to 0. So now we can also multiply this equation by what? By k. So that when we multiply 1 over k by k, that will be 1. Okay, negative 4 times k, that will be minus 4k. Minus 4k, okay? Then 4k times k, that will be 4k squared. And we have that equals to 0. So now we have a quadratic equation. Now we can rewrite this to be 4k squared, okay, minus 4k plus 1, okay, equals to 0. All right. Now, we know that this is same thing as 2k minus 1 raised to the power of 0 is the same thing as 4k squared, okay, minus 2k, okay, then plus 1, minus 4k plus 1. All right, that is 2k square of 2k minus 1 is the same thing as 4k squared minus 4k plus 1. All right, so which means that we can then write this will now become 2k minus 1 raised to the power of 2 equals to 0. So if we take the square root of both sides, we can then have 2k minus 1 equals to 0, then k equals to 1 half. K equals to 1 half. That is, if we take the square root, okay, if we take the square root of both sides, take the square root of both sides. Okay, so we're going to have 2k minus 1 equals to 0. Then the value of k will be 1 over 2. So this is the value of k. Now we can now recall, we know that k is what? K is equals to logarithm to base sine x of cos x. So let's recall. Now recall that logarithm to base sine x of cos x is equals to k. And now we know that the value of k is 1 half. So we can then say logarithm to base sine x of cos x equals to 1 half. So this would be, so that this can now be cos x equals to sine x raised to the power of what? 1 half. Okay, so now we can square both sides to get rid of power 2, okay? Now, raise both sides by, okay, square both sides. Let's say square both sides. That is by squaring both sides. By squaring both sides, this will be cos squared x equals to sine x. Because when we square both sides, the power of sine x on the right hand side will be what? Become 1. So in this case, then we can then also use one of the Pythagorean identity. Now, we know that from cos squared x plus sine squared x equals to 1, we can then write cos squared x to be equals to 1 minus sine squared x. So which means because we want to express cos squared x or cos x in terms of sine x, so we then use one of the Pythagorean identity, which is cos squared x plus sine squared x, which is equals to 1. So, and then we can now solve for cos squared x, and that will be 1 minus sine squared x. So we have 1 minus sine squared x equals to sine x. So let me rearrange this. This becomes sine squared x plus sine x minus 1 equals to 0. So now, in this case, let's not forget that the solution to this equation is what we are given as the inverse sine of alpha plus square root of beta divided by 2. So in this case, now we cannot factorize this. Okay, this cannot be factorized. So now we know that in this case, we can say let's use quadratic formula. Now using quadratic formula, we can say that A will be equals to 1, B is equals to 1, and C equals to minus 1. And that's because sine x is equals to negative plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So sine x is equals to minus 1, okay, plus or minus the square root of, so we have 1 squared minus 4 times 1, then multiply by minus 1, divided by 2 times 1, so that this will be sine x equals to minus 1 plus or minus, this will be 1 plus 4 divided by 2. Okay, all right, so now let me continue from here. So now we have sine x equals to minus 1 plus or minus the square root of, now 1 plus 4, that's 5, okay, divided by 2. All right, now because we must get a positive solution, that's the solution must be positive, so we neglect the what? The minus. All right, so what we're going to have now will be sine x equals to minus 1 plus radical 5 over 2. So which means alpha is minus 1 and then beta is what? Is 5 according to the according to what we are given in the question. And that is because we can make x the subject in this case, or solve for x. So when we solve for x, this will be the inverse sine of minus 1 plus root 5 over 2. So alpha is negative 1 and then beta is what? 5. So we are asked to find what is the value of alpha plus beta. So alpha plus beta is, alpha is minus 1, beta is what? 5. So the answer to the question is 4. The noblest pleasure is the joy of understanding.